Now remember, artists, those of you who were here in first grade when you did the coil pots, this time you're adding coils to the pinch pot that you made to create a cupcake. So double check before you start that your initials, first letter of your first name, first letter of your last name are on the bottom along with your teacher code, and that they are visible and legible. And then to attach, you should have all your coils rolled already. You're going to use your paper clip and you're going to score, if you remember doing this from last year, just along the edge of your pinch pot. Remember, you should have left this base at least a pinky width thick so that we have somewhere to put those coils for the icing. So first going to do that, and then scratching gently along the coils. Now if your coils vary in size, you're going to want to start with your thickest one. Mine are about the same size. This one's a little bit thinner, so I'm going to put this one down first and then my thinner one. You want the thicker ones on the bottom, or else the thinner ones will get squished by the weight. Then just 2 fingers in your cup of water, tapping on your score marks to get them wet. Remember, you don't want to rub or you will just erase the score marks that you made and have to redo that. That's no fun. And remember, you don't want to do it so hard. Let me get a quick coil rolled here. My hands are a little wet. But you don't want to be scoring with your paper clip so hard that you're pressing and mangling and flattening your coil. Okay, just gently, but enough to make to break the surface. Okay, now this, last year you stacked them directly on top once you put the coil on first along the outside. Remember, we check it by turning it and gently looking to see the water kind of squishing out there to make sure that it's on there. Be nice and gentle. You don't want to flatten it out. You can erase any scratchy marks that you have. Rub in some of the water so it doesn't get too wet. Now this is the trickier part. Once you get back to the center here, you want to make sure you're not going to go directly on top like we did last year, because then it will not get, you want this hole to get smaller. If you go straight up, you're just going to have a coil pot on top of a pinch pot, and that's not our goal. So what you want to do is now when you start to go up, gently, just a little bit of water. We don't need to score again because we still have our score marks here. This time you're going to go inside a little bit. So as you can see, as I'm putting this on, I can see the coil below it. Right? I'm going in a little bit smaller this time so that this center hole starts to get smaller. And I should be able to see the coil below the one that I'm working on. Okay? So make sure that you're doing that before you add another coil. So I have this other one, and again, just a little bit of water. I don't want it mushy so that it doesn't hold its form. And I'm going to take this coil now, a little extra clay on there, and I'm just going to attach it just like we did last year, smooth out that seam. But then again, watch as I put this on here. I'm going to make sure that the hole, the opening here, is getting smaller. And see how I can see the coils going down? That helps me know that my hole is getting smaller as I go. And honestly, I'm probably going to stop there. I have my little cupcake, my little swirl of icing. I don't need any more water because it's pretty wet, but I am going to take a minute and smooth out my cracks. I will come around and I will probably poke a little hole at the bottom, not messing up your name, just a little hole to make sure that air can escape because we don't want any exploding cupcakes in the kiln. And then if you want, and this is why I left that blank there, you can scratch a little bit, score a little bit, excuse me, on the edge there. Take a small piece of clay, and if you want to roll a sphere, remember in your hands, bottom hand stays still, top hand goes around in a circle. And then I can scratch a little bit on this. Tap, tap, tap with water, tap, tap, tap with water, and I'm going to put my cherry on the side. I'm going to attach it with my icing there, but I do want to make sure that I can leave a little bit of a hole for air to escape. Okay, so there's my little cupcake, my swirl of icing, and my cherry on top. All right, and that's how we complete it. If you do get done, just bring it up to me. I will double check that I can read your name and teacher code, make sure that everything's attached well, and then either you can make another choice or help somebody else. Go be artists.